Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. Happy Father's Day. I say that because the main demographic of my channel are people who usually are fathers due to their age and their gender. So I thought I would make this guy really happy in my comments section. He said, let's unbox a bunch of Gibson guitars. So that's what we're doing for Father's Day. I've got 3 kids of my own, so I fall within that same demographic as well. So you guys are in good hands here. And hey, if you're not a father yet, just give your own father a happy Father's Day. I'm sure that'll make him happy. Maybe even send him this video if he likes guitars. So this should actually be a pretty good episode here. I got a couple of new ones, but we'll start with this one from the Gibson Custom Shop. So this year, they've kind of ended up at the back end of their reissue guitars. So the past couple of years, we've had the 60th anniversaries of like the R7, the 59 reissues, and the 60 reissues. I mean, you can check out these videos if you want. One of them was a NAMM prototype. But this year, it's actually the SG's initial year. Well, I mean, it was technically still called the Les Paul at that time. But I've got one of those here today. So that means it's either 1 of 2 finishes, and I'm actually pretty excited to check this thing out. I mean, first impressions here, I like this whole Lifton style, straight up black case like these used to come in. But inside here, ooh, nice. Sideways vibrola, man. Wow. These frets are gorgeous. Like, even before I take it out of the case here, they are just screaming my name. They're so shiny. Like, they're doing something different at the custom shop. I've never seen them shine quite like that. Somebody definitely took a little bit more time on that. Or maybe it's just hitting the light just right at this setup, who knows? But you get like a little bit of aging to this gold hardware that's on here. I mean, this is basically the Sister Tharp SG. She used one that's very similar. I was surprised to see that they didn't do a signature limited edition one of these for her. Maybe they will in the future, but as of right now, we at least have these reissues. So if you're interested in checking them out, here's how much they are. They're kind of expensive, but at the same time, they're very cool. So my first impressions on this is the neck is actually surprisingly chunky. Now, being a Les Paul custom version, this is before they did like the bat wings in the late 60s. So it's a little bit more traditional in that sense. Ooh. They even took the time to age the knobs. I really like that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Maybe if I hold it up here to something white, you can see the aging within that. That's awesome. But if you're not familiar with how the sideways vibrola works, is you just yank it out like that and then do this. They're not my favorite, but it's good for a nice little warble effect. I mean, we just very recently did the Hendrix SGs of these, so it's kind of nice to see one of these that has not been aged. I don't necessarily hate aging, but certain ones look better than others. But as far as other cool features here, it looks like, oh cool, that's kind of, I don't want to say it's engraved because it's actually sitting on top of that, so I think you could technically scratch that out if you wanted to, but it says a solid hit for 60 years. Yeah, that's right. The SG is like one of the few models that Gibson's never stopped production on, as far as I'm aware. Everything else usually has some sort of like a small break. But hey, check this thing out. It's a reissue of the old advertisement when this first came out. You still have Mary Ford on there and Les Paul. So very cool. What kind of case candy comes with this? Nice. I was just curious if they would give you a plain one if you didn't want that. Yes, they do. That's a nice touch right there. That's pretty much just your regular case candy here for the rest. A special little certificate of authenticity booklet that's gold, and you get your serial number in there, just like a regular COA. So yes, that is a very cool guitar for our Father's Day unboxing, but it only gets better from here, my friends. Because our next one here will make a small percentage of my audience happy because they don't see representation on their side too often. But first off, we've got this small little package, which is some extra tuners. I wonder what that's about. And some Gibson decals that unfortunately got ruined by the tuners. Oh well, they tried. So the story behind this one is, you guys know the demo shop. We talk about it enough on the channel. I always enjoy checking out their new listings, and I'll make guitar hunting videos, you know, as long as there's something interesting that they've done. But this is one of the ones that somebody that's an international viewer of the show, he wanted something from the shop, but unfortunately, at this time, Gibson does not ship their stuff internationally. I'm honestly not sure why. I wonder if it has to do with like non-compete issues with their European dealers. I mean, these are still, you know, slightly used guitars. Maybe they just don't want to have to deal with explaining customs to buyers or having somebody get upset because they didn't understand duties and whatnot. But if you are an international viewer, you can utilize my international forwarding program. You can find some more information on my website, and I can help you get it there if you're willing to pay all the costs that it'll take. So I think this is what, like the 6th or 7th guitar that I forwarded to people. It's always fun to get to check these things out on the show as well. Whoa, whoa! It's a lefty. Okay. I'm not going to be able to play this one before I send it out, but he thought it'd be fun to see a lefty on the channel. And this one's not actually going that far. It's only going to Canada, if I remember correctly. And whoa. Like this top comes to life in person. Like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to hold this. I guess it should be like this to make the lefties happy. Feels so strange doing it like this. But that top, yes. It's very vintage-esque. Like, it doesn't appear to be like super flamey until you kind of get it in the light just right here. So he was just looking for a killer lefty, and he thought this was a fantastic deal at $4,000 and I've got to agree with him that I believe it's also a pretty good deal at that price. Because lefties, they don't get a lot of options, and this is a 1960 reissue, so it's got that slightly thinner neck. I mean, it's not too thin, but if I'm reading the serial number correctly, I believe that 9 means it's a 2019. So this is 1 year before all those anniversary reissues, if I'm reading that correctly. Because it doesn't look like it's got the diamond or anything like that. But that is a really nice looking reissue. I don't think I've ever had such a high-end lefty guitar. But we do have the very faint little demo stamp right there. So I will be shipping this off and the tuners that he requested. Oh, okay, now I understand. So from the demo shop, they had one double ringed and the rest were single. So it looks like he asked them to, you know, complete the set with the double lined. I wonder if that was what was initially wrong with this, why it went back to Gibson, as one of the tuners broke or something. That'd be my best guess, and it looks like I might have got a newer case. That's a February of 2020 case. But continuing on here, we have 2 more for our Father's Day celebration unboxing episode here. This time, we've got something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't that excited for it, but I thought we could get it in to unbox it because I was kind of curious what it would look like in person. This is one of the guitars from Gibson's newest collection that they call the Exclusives series. So basically, if you missed this video, they made some olive drab green finishes and they did some black finishes of pre-existing models, just building upon their own website direct to consumer. It seems that's what Gibson's going for. And hey, if it means we get cool, fun finishes, why not? Let's go ahead and see which one I got this time, because unfortunately these things sold out quickly, so it'll be a while before they restock. Inside here, we've got one of the black Les Paul standards. So this one, let's see if we can tell just by feeling the neck. That's the 50s. So with the original collection, I am a huge fan of these ones. They're modern guitars, but they are some of the best modern Gibsons that have ever been made. And, you know, there hasn't been a black Les Paul standard in the lineup for a couple of years now. So if you're a fan of the black, it's great. In my eyes, I really wish they just would have did a black top and left the back natural, because that would have made it a very desirable guitar to me. Because you gotta remember, these things are still $24.99, and it actually says it on the box. Remember I told you guys I'd have to take one and sand the finish off and see if it's a flame top or not? It actually designates plain top. So my theory is anything that comes through the lineup that's really plain, that doesn't belong on a multi-A flame top, they just designate it to be the black finish and sell it as an exclusive. And yeah, those frets are looking fantastic on this one. So I hope to unbox one of each from the exclusives collection just so we can see it in person. So far, I mean, nothing too special on this one. It's just an ebony finish if you like that. So you can check this one out on my Reverb shop. It's got all the usual case candy in here. And I've got one more for us today. Another newer Gibson. That's just how it is. I try to vary the content up, but I'm in the middle of trying to get caught up with what I have without letting new packages sit around for a long time. So I try to pick things that make sense and go together for an unboxing episode. And hey, that commenter said he wanted to see Gibsons. I mean, if you're watching this channel to see a variety of content, I'm sorry. I am Gibson focused simply because I like the brand. I do quite a few Fenders. I have a really cool Telecaster coming up, so I think I got a PRS coming in a couple of months. And a few other budget brand episodes coming up as well, so we've got some variety. But this one in here, a Lifton case. I was not expecting that. Okay, this appears to be some sort of an SG. It was just yesterday's episode that I was like, hey, I don't have very many SGs, so I did that review of the protector cases. I really like those things. But now we need to see what other SG I'm adding to my little collection here. Whoa, nice. Once again with the ridiculous frets. You know, this thing is fantastic. Okay, so this is the other version of a 61 SG Les Paul with the sideways vibrola, but instead of being a custom, it's just like the standard. And I hate to say it, but I think I like the standard better. Like in photos, I thought all day long it's that white custom because that's a classic guitar. But this thing with those cherry aniline dies, it looks quite fantastic, doesn't it? 101401. I like that serial number. I love the way that the sideways vibrolas look, but as far as functionality goes, they're okay. They're just not my favorite. But you don't have any fancy electronics on these guys or anything. It's just meant to be a beautiful reissue. Now these are a little bit more affordable than the customs. I think they're almost like $1,500 cheaper. But it kind of reminds me of the anniversary reissues of the Les Pauls that we've been seeing. That really dark red finish where you get some of the binding bleed. I mean, it's technically a historically correct thing. But yeah, this is a fantastic looking SG. I mean, these frets, they're looking nice. So I think before we say goodbye here, we should hand these things side by side. I didn't realize that they were going to come with different cases here. So this one comes with like a modern Lifton reissue, whereas this one has the other style of Lifton. Maybe that's some vintage spec that I'm not aware of. I'll be honest, I'm not a big SG guy. Man, taking this thing out of the case again, it gets me excited. I mean, they're both great guitars. How are you going to choose just one? I don't know, but it's just something about that nickel hardware that looks great when it has some slight aging to it. But these are the new SGs that they're doing for this year as an anniversary run. So you can check these out on my website if you're interested in being the next owner. If you're interested in seeing a full review and demo on one of these, let's get this video to, let's say, 4,000 likes. Can you guys do it? I think that would be possible for these beautiful instruments. If I had to choose one to review, I think I would actually go with this one, simply because we just did the Hendrix SG, and it's kind of similar, not exactly, but this thing is a little bit different and kind of akin to one of those USA ones that I did about a couple of years ago. But the feel between those are way different, like night and day. People ask me all the time, hey, what's the difference between like a USA made Gibson, meaning the Gibson USA plant, it's their production level guitars, and a custom shop. And the best thing I can tell you guys, go to a store like Sweetwater, try them side by side. Instantly, as soon as you touch them and feel them, you'll know that there's something a little bit different. Is it worth the $4,000 or whatever it costs to get the custom shop? That's only up for you to decide. I mean, they're not $3,000 to $4,000 better guitars. I mean, there's the law of diminishing returns, but there's definitely something a little bit nicer on these. So both of them are good. I mean, as long as you can play guitar, any guitar is going to be pretty good. But I hope you troglodytes enjoyed this Happy Father's Day edition of the Trogly's Guitar Show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with a friend who you think would enjoy it. And we'll catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.